Yellow. Hey, Nate, what's up? Nah, I'm not gonna go to the card store today. Not really in the mood. Card games on what? Alright guys, Ace of Bats here. So I just got a call from Nate. It turns out the link format started today. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and go suit up real quick and we're going to go ahead and throw together a deck. Let me show you what I'm going to play going forward in the links and then we're going to hit the card ship. Alright. Okay guys, so this is what I'm taking to locals here, doing an updated version of the Odd Eyes Dark Magicians with links now. So let's go ahead and start from the top. We'll work with the main deck first. So we got a really simple engine. 3 Odd Eyes cards, the Unicorn, the Synchron, and of course Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon himself. Nice thing about Unicorn, you can still get over the real big beaters with that, as long as you got Odd Eyes on board, so it's good for outing things that you can't deal with, especially since we don't have a lot of easy extra deck access right now. This might come in handy later. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be the Return of the Joker here, and Pendulum Sorcerer. Alright. So Pendulum Sorcerer is at 1 since he's only got a couple of targets, but we're always able to pop other Pendulum scales, especially the Zark scales, get some pluses off of that, and then we get to go ahead and grab some extra Jokers and a couple of the extra Synchrons over here. We got the starter deck Magicians to line things up, triple Wisdom Eye, single Dragon Pit to take care of back row just in case. Got a double Oath Dragon, and of course Noble Dragon Magician works really well with Dragon Pit, and it's a great discard outlet just in case you need to get your Pendulum Call off. Moving on to Zark. 2 Astrograph Sorcerer. This one's a great one to get a little bit of extra plus there. If you pop a scale or if you lose a card, you can go ahead and drop it just like a standard hand trap. Gets you 2,500 point level 7 body, and then lets you search whatever got blown up. It's great, plus it enables Zark. We got 1 copy of the White Wing because it's a tuner. 2 copies of Black Fang because it reses and it also halves attack points. 2 copies of Double Iris. Really wanted to squeeze in a third, but just could not make the room. It still gets to the Pendulum Graphs. 2 Searchers for the 3 Pendulum Graphs works just fine. And 3 Purple Poison, just because this is the coolest card in the deck. It pumps up your monsters, pops their monsters or face-up cards. It's another out for Anti-Spell Fragrance too, which is kind of neat. Triple Harmonizing Magician, because that's a free Omega, that's a free Beals, and that's a free whatever level 8 you need to get into. Or a Time Star, that works really well too. Double Luna, had to cut one for that second Oath Dragon Magician just so we can keep recycling plays. Single Maxi, the Maxi challenge is lit. Double Gofu, 1 German, 1 English, just for the fun of it. And you know what, this makes a single card Decode Talker before the Pendulum Summon. For the spells, double Sky Iris, a single copy of Fusion, and 1 copy of Terraforming the Search, since we don't rely on the Odd Eyes as much. The smaller engine's fine, but it also really helps protect the scales too, because they're going to have to work around this, and then they're going to go after the scales. They're going to forget that the scales do things when they explode, so, yeah, no. Really frustrates people. Triple Duelist Alliance. I've had a lot of good luck with this card over here. Searches for the Pendulum cards we need, including the Graphs, including the Double Iris Tradition, and Pendulum Sorcerer itself. 2 Pendulum Call, 1 Amazing Pendulum, just in case I need to get more Magicians in the hand, and when I run out of Magicians, drop this on an empty field, which is really easy to do with the Zark Magicians. You blow them up, you get their effects, you put them back to the hand, and then you Pendulum Summon from there. 1 Star Pendulum Graph and 2 Time Pendulum Graphs just to get the recycle. This will probably get popped. Fact of the matter, you still only need 1 because if you resolve it once, it's paid for itself. Time Pendulum Graph. I like to run doubles up, you can get away with 1. Having 2's been nice, it's easier to find, easier to search, and then if I lose 1, I drop another 1. They've wasted an MST or Twin Twister. Our Link monsters are 2 Link Spiders and a Decode Talker. You can climb into Link Spiders really easy with Gofu, and then use the Gofu and the 2 Link Spiders to make Decode Talker. Decode's been really helpful. You actually can, if your opponent isn't paying attention, if they drop a monster in there, you can tribute that to negate another effect and pop it, so they can lose like 2-3 cards in 1 shot. It's actually pretty awesome. Link Spider doesn't do anything especially interesting, but you know, if you loop it back with Dragon Pulse and Oath Dragon, you can actually make a really easy play. One of these might become Mrs. Radiant, probably Decode Talker, but I am liking Talker. I'm hoping I get to keep him in the future. And for rank 4s, 1 Time Star and 1 Utopia. Time Star is the big searcher. I wanted to keep 2 Time Stars in here, but this is the only thing the deck really needs to function. One of them works just fine if you get the right setup. And Utopia, because he's shining, Zexal evolves into Utopia the Lightning. So once we get the Supreme King version of XYZ Rebellion Dragon, this will probably go. And then One Eye's Absolute Dragon, because it goes into Raging. And it also goes into a fusion card, Vortex Dragon over here. Ballad, Dark Destroyer, out to Masterpiece, a couple other things. It's a nice thing to have. And for the Synchros, 1 level 7 Synchro, the Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Does negate a few things, a lot of stuff that'll target it, it'll pop. And if something tries to negate it, it can negate that. It actually can get a lot of plus. There are a lot of situations where I find this is more useful than having Crystal Wing because it technically does get 2 negates sometimes. And then for the level 8, Stardust, Omega, Ignister, and Beals. It's Ignister non-targeting, Omega hand loops, Stardust protects, and Beals is invulnerable. Vortex Dragon, because negates for days, and of course the one, the only, Big Zark. Great thing about him, board wipe on the opponent's side of the board, hexproof, 4,000 point beater, out to Masterpiece, and a lot of other big ones too, so a little bit of a janky summoning condition. If you can get him off, he's a good guy to go with. And we'll talk a little bit about the side deck. It's personal preference. These are just a couple cards you can try out. For example, Miss Valley, Apex Avion. I don't suspect I'm going to be using this none too much unless I'm running into a deck that requires me to get a lot of negates. But all the scales are 1 through 8. It's easy to summon. Now for options in Engine that are in theme, Zionka Magician's a great one in case you run into a lot of light monsters. Great for Blue Eyes, great for Masterpiece, anything else that relies on light type monsters. Timebreaker's another nice out, so if you run out of Violet Poisons, it's a good extra option there. It'll be a non-destroying targeting, but non-destroying banish card that'll get rid of problematic cards for a turn, just giving you enough time to get rid of it. And Dragon Pulse. It's a spell out to Masterpiece, so if you find that it's immune to traps, monster effects, then Dragon Pulse in the scale works as a spell, pops it. It's also really good against King Calamities. Monster effects. Then Dragon Pulse in the scale works as a spell, pops it. It's also really good against King Calamities. Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit are really good options. And they also function as tuners with those level 4 magicians that you have that are going to recur. Gets you into Clear Wing if you need it. 2 Chaos Hunter, if Cosmos are coming back, Chaos Hunter's coming back. It's another level 7 body. Works to get you into Absolute. Another good option, and it's Pendulum Summonable. Jinzo, Paleo decks are gone, but Demise decks are still real, so it's good for the true Draco matchup. It helps against the Zoo matchup sometimes, because you can still Pendulum Summon. 2400 body, he's hard to get over. Hard enough to get over for a lot of the smaller Zoo monsters there. Double Twin Twister, just because MST 2.0, you can get a lot of hand advantage, so discarding one of the Pendulum monsters isn't always that big a deal. 1 Soul Drain, 1000 life points, just kills the graveyard. Minerva's a thing now, so graveyard power decks might be a bigger thing going into the format. We'll be off to locals momentarily here. Go ahead and let us know what you think of the deck profile. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the notification squad, and we'll be back Monday with some fresh duels and some fresh deck profiles from people that we faced. Thanks again.